If you're a musician, content creator, podcaster, or voice actor, here are the 5 essentials you absolutely need to build a home studio. Essential number 1 is a computer. This is perhaps the most important component of any studio because it's going to be your main workstation. But let's get one thing out of the way. Should you get a Mac or a PC? Trust me, everybody's gonna have an opinion, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to personal preference. For that reason, I would encourage you just to go with what you have and what you're most comfortable with. And even though the brand doesn't matter as much, what does matter is the actual specs of your computer. And there's 3 main specifications that you should pay attention to. The first one is the processor. This is a chip that's going to determine how powerful your computer is and what it can handle. Since I'm a Mac user, I can only speak on behalf of the Apple ecosystem. Any computer with an M1 chip or newer should be more than enough to handle audio and music production. Another important spec is known as RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. This is going to have an impact on how many tracks, effects, and plugins you're going to be able to use in your projects. 8 gigabytes should be the bare minimum, but if you can, I encourage you to upgrade to 16 gigabytes. That's what I use to run all of my projects, including this YouTube channel. This way, you're not going to have to worry about your sessions crashing. And finally, storage, which means the actual space that your computer has to save all of your files. Bare minimum 512 gigs, but if you can, I also encourage you to upgrade to 1 or even 2 terabytes. Trust me, your storage will run out at some point, especially if you plan to do any sort of video editing. But here's a pro tip. If you're a Mac user like myself, do not upgrade the storage through Apple because they're going to charge you a lot of money. Instead, go to Amazon and buy yourself an external SSD like the Samsung T7. This way, you're going to be able to buy multiple terabytes of storage for a fraction of the price. The second home studio essential you'll need is known as a DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. This is the software you're going to use to record your audio. There are many DAWs out there, but if you want to get started for free and you're a Mac user, then your computer comes pre-installed with GarageBand. And if you're a PC user, you can download Pro Tools Intro, which is a free version of Pro Tools. These DAWs are going to let you learn the basics, but once you're ready to purchase a full version DAW, if you're a Mac user, of course, I'm going to recommend Logic Pro, which is what I use. To me, it just made financial sense to get this software because even though it's not cheap, it's a one-time payment of $199 and I get to keep it for life. However, if you prefer subscription services, then Pro Tools just might be what you're looking for. This way, you can pay $30 a month. Just keep in mind, you're going to keep paying for that for the rest of your life. But if you're a PC user and you don't like subscriptions, then I would recommend Reaper. The next home studio essential you'll need is something to capture your audio, and of course, I'm talking about microphones. Now, there are thousands of different microphone models that range from $100 to thousands of dollars, but it really comes down to 2 main categories. Condenser mics, which do an excellent job at picking up every single detail out of your audio sources. For that reason, I recommend this style of microphone for musicians and voice actors. However, this style of microphone is very sensitive, which means it will 100% pick up on background noise in your room. So for best results, make sure to also invest in acoustic treatment. And one of my top recommendations around $150 has been the Rode NT1 Signature Series. The great thing about this mic kit is that it comes with all of the accessories you need to get started, and I'll leave the links to everything I talk about in the description below, including all of my reviews. However, if you have $300 to spend, then my top recommendations would be the Rode NT1 4th generation or the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure. Moving on to dynamic microphones, which is the kind of mic I'm recording this video with. These mics are known to be very focused sounding and they do a great job at background noise rejection. For that reason, you don't have to worry as much about acoustic treatment, and so I would recommend it for content creators, podcasters, and live streamers. And here on the channel, my top 3 recommendations are the Rode PodMic USB, the Shure MV7, and the undisputed king of all dynamic microphones, which is the Shure SM7B, or its new version, the SM7DB, which is the one I'm using right now. This is the microphone that you most likely heard on any podcast, live stream, or even radio show. It has a very neutral sound, which makes it very easy to listen to, so even though it's not cheap, I do think it's worth the investment. And by the way, if you enjoy videos like this one, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The fourth essential you're going to need is an audio interface. This is a box that you're going to connect your microphone into. It's going to take that analog sound, then convert it into a digital signal and send it to your computer for processing. Audio interfaces come in many shapes and sizes, and they can range from $100 to thousands of dollars. But if you want to get started on a budget, my top recommendations are the Audient Evo 4 and the Universal Audio Vote 1. However, if you want to get access to more features and more channels, then I would recommend the Audient ID14, the Universal Audio 276, and the Lewitt Connect 6. The next essential you'll need is a pair of studio headphones. And when I say studio headphones, I don't mean AirPods or Beats. Those are consumer headphones, and they're going to have a lot of enhancements that are definitely going to color the sound, and it's not something that we look for when it comes to music and audio production. In contrast, studio headphones have a much flatter frequency response, and so they're going to let you hear a truthful representation of what you recorded. For the past 5 years, my favorite headphones have been the Beyerdynamics DT770 Pros. They're extremely comfortable to wear over long periods of time, and most importantly, when I record and mix through those headphones, my mixes translate very well, and that is why I recommend them. I'm going to leave the links to all of my reviews and recommendations in the description below, and if you want to watch my entire home studio tour to see the gear that I use, then make sure to click on this video.